I've been joined via Skype at the moment to just help us understand this, because the situation at the arena can't best be described as a time bomb in terms of the health that they're exposed to. This is because most of these sewers are over 40 years and are flushed directly into the sea. Issaka B is the country manager or programs manager, I must say, water and sanitation unit here for the urban, and also joining us here to help us understand this. I thank you very much, Isa. If you can hear me, good evening to you. Now, would you say that this is a clear failure on the part of the sanitation officers at the Accra Metropolitan Assembly and to have checked this to prevent this from happening?
I think, thank you so much. Thank you so much to you and your cherished viewers. I think this issue goes beyond the KAMA Sanitation Department. It's a manifestation of a complete failure on the part of government and on the part of citizens to contribute to improving sanitation situation. What you see there today is probably the fact that the systems that have been put in place over the years have not been attended to. And like any other infrastructure, if you put infrastructure in and you don't have a very robust operation and maintenance system, that would ensure that you generate the required resources to be able to invest in improving it and expanding it, then it will fail to serve its purpose. Every infrastructure that is designed also have a design period or a design horizon. And so these infrastructure that you have there probably have outlived their design period, the period for which they were designed, or even the populations for which they were designed. And that requires that new investment is put in to expand them and to make them workable. That's one angle of the matter. But the most serious part is the fact that for 2 days or so, we haven't seen any response from AMA to deal with the issue. It shows that the sanitation department, waste management department of AMA, does not have the capacity in terms of resources to be able to mobilize to respond to this issue. Because where we are talking now is a very central part of Accra and very crowded. And so any outbreak of cholera and other water and sanitation related diseases would, have ripple effects in the whole of Accra. So it requires that at least by now there should be, if there is not, there should be a cholera response team that should deal with such issues and not just leaving it to the sanitation department to deal with.
Well, you talked about the new investment needed in that particular area, and that leads me to my next question, because if we're talking about investment, in how should the investment be used? How should it be targeted? Is it rehabilitation of these suspects which already exist, which have not been changed over 40 years, or otherwise?
Obviously, they are dotted around. I think that there's a need to do a feasibility study and appraisal of all these systems. And that would indicate whether we are abandoning them altogether, or we are going to rehabilitate them, or we are going to replace them with new systems altogether. You need to do that and cost it. Then you know the financial outlay that is required for these. Then you can then compare them to probably having on-site systems. On-site systems simply means that you have a toilet and you have a septic tank and it's contained. If you cost it against these, then you would know whether it makes financial sense to go back and rehabilitate these or invest in new infrastructure to be able to provide the services that is required for these people.
Okay.
Obviously, we have no choice than to make sure that the residents of this area are serviced with improved sanitation facilities.
To the extent that this has been going on for the past 2 days, the situation you saw on the television has been there for 2 days. Clearly, the inaction on the part of the Accra Metropolitan Assembly, specifically the sanitation officers there, is exposing the lives of over 200 and over residents living in this area to a serious health danger. What would you recommend that should be the swiftness that is needed to attend to this situation?
I think that we as citizens must understand that the sanitation authorities in these countries owe us a duty. they are there to provide a service. And so if they are not providing that kind of service, or the services they are providing are not meeting the required services that we want, we have the right to challenge and a demand for improved services. So I would expect that people in this location must come together and petition Accra Metropolitan Assembly in the first instance to officially demand for the situation to be resolved if they are not coming. Thereafter, then they can look at other options that they will look at. But looking at the situation now is obviously beyond what the residents of this area can do. And that definitely requires intervention of the the engineering department of AMA, and also the waste management department of AMA. And so if they are not responding, then we as citizens ought to take it up and make sure that they respond to the situation. At least that would contribute to solving the problem than to sit down unconcerned about it.
Issa, thank you very much for this, and that clearly gives us an idea of what to expect going forward. Issaka Musa is the country programs manager, water and sanitation for the urban poor, giving us the details. But it's a clear worrying situation.
It's worrying. It's extremely worrying, and it's clear that the AMA is the answer. The swift
inaction.
Exactly. That's what it's needed. The swift action of the AMA.
We hope and wait to see, after airing this, what the response of the Accra Metropolitan Assembly Sanitation Unit will be on this.
Absolutely, Alfred.